And then if you have any questions, you can just message me directly if that works for you. And then you can go back and watch it again, obviously, as well. So what got you interested in coaching?
Well, I needed to kind of, I guess, just get like another set of eyes on my gameplay.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I might just be maybe overcritical of myself, and kind of how my gameplay is. Because like when I go through, try to do like self-aud reviews, it's like, okay, shouldn't do that, shouldn't do that. I'm not really looking at, oh, well, this was actually a good move, or maybe this was the best play. It's always, oh, should have done that better, should have done that better. And I also feel like I might be trying to fix too many issues at once. So I'm not really sure what my focus should actually be.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I think that's like, especially given the rank that you're at. Okay, here's a question. How much educational content do you watch?
A ton. I watch your videos all the time.
I knew it.
And
so thanks for the ad
you're
revenue.
Gonna ask too.
Thanks for the ad revenue. I appreciate that. I'm literally like eating day to day just based off of your willingness to watch my stuff. That being said, that's a classic. That's a classic. Not a mistake, but it is a classic downside of being a. I mean, even if it's somebody that's like as perfect as I am, you have too much information. And so you go into those reviews and you are silver?
Well, I shot up to, I'm at high gold now.
See, so I am the greatest coach of all time. But yes, even high gold, there's going to be so many errors on every single thing, right? Like even professional level gameplay, there's lots of little things that you can point out. So then you just have like this tsunami of feedback, and it's very discouraging. It's very discouraging.
It almost feels like I picked the game up for the first time again.
Right.
Like there's just so much going on and so much that I'm trying to keep track of.
Have you ever noticed that like the most confident players in their own ability are the stupidest? Right?
Yes.
It's because they have
like that.
Right, because the gap between what they know and they can do is nil. In fact, sometimes they think that they're better than the game itself. Like this, I might be the greatest thing that ever walked in. Right. You're the opposite, right? And as am I too, where I feel like, or I know that I have a good understanding of the game, but my ability to act on that is a problem. And so you're at another level. Not only is that you, but you knew that was you. So you're self-aware, which is incredible. But regardless, obviously, I think the reason why that's such a problem is if you're intelligent and patient and consistent, you can work through that. And obviously that you have. I mean, high gold, like gold 2, gold 3, gold 1.
Gold 1. I'm kind of...
That's great.
Plat 5, gold 1.
That's great. I mean, that's huge, right? So you've been able to work through that. But the question is that the most efficient way of doing things? And also, what are some more efficient ways that I can deal with that? And I think that's going to be the key thing as well. Because it's also, being hard on yourself is not just ankle weights. It's also like ankle weights that itch, It doesn't make the process very fun if you're constantly like being overly self-critical. So what we'll do is we'll prioritize things for you, as well as maybe giving you some advice about how you can deal with managing your expectations and being overly self-critical. Because the first thing I would tell you is that the impossibility of maybe some of the expectations that you're putting in yourself, because sadly we're not, I guess the mark of a true AI would be able to never make the same mistake twice. You've ever heard that? It's okay to make mistakes, never make the same mistake twice. But that's like probably the worst advice I've ever heard, because nobody does that.
It's a gradual process.
It's a gradual process, and it's also, for lack of a better word, the term is not exponential, but the mathematical equation I would give it is what's half of 1? 50%. What's half of 50%? 25%. Okay, so 25% on top of 50% is 75%. What's half of 25%? 12.5%, 87.5%. And you go, what's half of 12.5%? 6.25%. So they go 93.75. And you're basically halving each half, and you're getting closer and closer and closer to 100%, right? But you'll never get to 100%. And in fact, your progress slows down the closer you get, because there's fewer mistakes. So basically, if you're trying to cut down on your lack of misuse of cover, you'll get better quickly. But you will always have one out of every 15, 20 fights where you screw it up pretty badly, even as a professional level player. So like you never can get to perfection. And in the fact, the harder you push, the smaller those improvements will be. So I guess just being happy with some sort of progress and knowing that you're never going to fully make it, is where you really everyone has to end up being. Nobody ever says, "Oh yeah, I'm at my peak." There's not a single person in the world that thinks that they're performing at their peak right now. They always think that they've got more in them. That's part of human psychology. So, all right, Diva, Zarya, Sigma, Ramatra. What's that looking like nowadays?
It's mostly Diva, some Ramatra, some Sigma. I kind of tightened it down a little bit.
Excellent. What is the percentage breakdown of those approximately? If you have a career profile that can like point it out exactly, that'd be even better.
Oh yeah, let me open that up real quick.
Excellent. I used to ask people approximately what it was, but I realized that most people were really bad at estimating what their playtime was like, and also really bad at estimating their breakdowns. They would always overestimate their, like, oh yeah, I play like 20%. Turns out it was like 10% of the other character. And the other thing as well is I've had students who are like, yeah, I'm playing a decent amount this season, and I look at their career profile and it says 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because they're not trying to lie. They're just like, oh, weird. Like there's a legitimate surprise, So,
Yeah. Right now it's looking pretty much like 70% Diva, 20% Ramatra, the rest is Sigma.
Okay, so the word is Sigma. Is this the circuit guy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Circuit, some Havana.
Okay, seems reasonable. And what about Ram?
I find that I'm playing Ramatra more on defense, Diva on attack. I just find it easier. I don't really know why.
Mobility is always helpful when you don't have space.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Not always the hard rule, but yeah. I mean, Ramatra's going to be more the flat space guy, Diva more verticality. But yeah, I mean, it's not unreasonable to expect that. And then in terms of playtime, what are you looking like right now? Because your form says one thing, but I want to know what your career profile says.
Recently it's been, I mean, over the past week or two, I've really kicked it up a notch. I kind of took a short break from playing competitive.
Why?
Just kind of like mentality. I kind of had to readjust and reevaluate, and
Sure.
I didn't really want to allow myself to tilt queue or anything like that.
Yep.
Um,
I respect it.
But I'm usually putting in like 2-3 hours a day.
Is that going to be where you're going to be at moving forward? Because that's what you said in your forum, but like when you said you had a little bit of a mentality thing, like how often has that been the case? Is that just kind of a standalone thing, or?
I think that happened kind of shortly after I booked the coaching session. Actually, just but yeah, it should be fine moving forward.
Okay, sounds good. Now that's not a problem if that continues to be a problem. Just something that you'll need to evaluate. Like if the problem is I don't get enough playtime because I don't enjoy the game. In fact, my previous session had that exact same discussion. Then don't try to force the playtime. Instead, try to find out what will help you to enjoy the game more.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But overall, at least the forum, 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days of the week, is totally fine. Totally fine for your goals. Because your goals are climb out of metal rings and you're almost there.
Yeah.
And the second goal was be able to improve myself. Well, you're clearly improving yourself. Like going from silver to borderline plat 5 in and out is a monstrous improvement. You went from below average to above average. Like, I don't know the exact percentage, but I want to say like 35 to like 60 percentile, something like that, which is huge. Short term, you said improve game sense and fix any other mistakes I may be making. So obviously we talked about fixing mistakes is a really stupid goal, respectfully. But like say improve game sense, as vague as that is, do you feel like you've done that since you filled out the form?
I mean, if I'm being honest, no. I don't really feel like I've done that much, but again,
So what's
I feel like
changed?
it might be
So how did you just you're magically you've just gone on like the matchmaker just blessed you or what? Like what's happened here?
I mean, I feel like clearly I have improved something somewhere. I'm not able to see it myself.
I want you to think. I'm going to give you an awkward 30-second silence. And I want you to see if you can come up with something. It could even be something really stupid, very specific, like I reload less often at bad times as a Sigma or something. Like, I don't know. Sigma doesn't even reload. Never mind. That's a great example. Ramatra, anything. Think about it.
I guess when it comes to the characters that I play, I tried to focus on uh, like staging better as Diva, and focusing on like my cooldown cycling on Ramatra.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Have you done that well?
I would like to think so.
Okay. Give me an example. Go with the Ramacha one just a little bit.
Uh, what do you mean, just like from in game or?
Yeah, sure. Can you think of a recent game where you were really like attentive to your Ramacha cooldowns, for better or worse?
Yeah. I mean, I had a game last night where I was able to kind of keep myself alive. I think it was just me and an Ana on the point in
Sure.
overtime.
Sure.
I cycled shield, then nemesis block, then ultimate, and then I got nanoed. But we held the point.
Nice. Diva, you said staging, correct?
Hmm.
Okay, so
Um,
is there any, like, not even a particular game, but maybe particular fights or maps where you felt like your staging was something better than you would have done 2 or 3 months ago?
that is a good question. I feel like I've gotten a little bit of a better grasp on maps that I've struggled with in the past. Uh, like I've forced myself to play Diva on Kavana Circuit Royale, trying to break away from using Sigma as a crutch there.
Ooh,
Um,
that's challenging. I
it
respect it.
is, it's really tough. Like first point Havana with Diva it's tough sometimes.
It almost feels like you have to like play like hard hold a corner and just shoot tank, like but make them walk
Mhm,
into like melee range. That's tough.
yeah. So just trying to like force that and then taking that high ground where,
Yep.
like Widow's Ashes like to sit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, good, good. I'm glad. I think the reason I'm challenging you is not because I want you to make you feel better about yourself, although that's a happy side benefit. I,
mhm,
I think part of the imposter syndrome, the reason why it's so dangerous is not just because it can make you feel bad, as I said, but because the problem with egotistical players, as we said earlier, is that they don't really have an accurate understanding of like where they are skill wise. And I think that that's a problem that can manifest itself when you're trying to improve because I have to convince them that this is important. You need to work at this for them to be able to put the time in. Okay.
mhm,
And for you, I need to convince you that, hey, you've definitely put a level of time in and this is improved because I don't want you to lose motivation because you feel like you've plateaued when you have not. Now, the
mhm,
number goes up, but you still need to be accurate with your self assessment. I think knowing yourself, not to be all philosophical, but I think is a really important skill to know so that
mhm,
you could be both objective about your skill level right now and also objective about what things are going well. For example, if I feel like your mechanics look really good, that might mean that we put a little bit more emphasis on other aspects of your gameplay. Like you need to just be honest with yourself.
mhm.
And if you cannot be honest with yourself because you really don't know, then that's a problem. That's a
All
problem.
right.
So we need to know, how good are you? I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I'm also not going to sit here and just yell at you for things that you've clearly improved at, right? Like
Mhm.
we need to be productive here. And I think that's going to be the problem for you. So I feel like I have a long list of issues I need to fix. I just don't know how to fix them or in what order. We've talked about that a little bit already, and obviously we'll go into game. My mentality is great. My mechanics are okay, I think, but I am lacking in game sense and decision making. Now, at the time, that might have been a different answer, but I want to revisit that. Right
Mhm.
now, what do you feel is lacking in terms of game sense, decision making, and even going back to what you said earlier, some of the fundamental taking tips for target priority, especially while on dive tanks? Like, really, I'm opening the kind of the barn door here. What stuff do you feel like you're lacking in understanding and lacking in execution?
Um, when it comes to Diva specifically, I know my alt usage is pretty bad. Uh,
How do you know that?
my well, I went through uh, well earlier while I was waiting. I actually went
Yep.
through the replay that I sent you and
Oh,
picked out some
perfect.
stuff that I noticed, so I could kind of compare and contrast.
Excellent. What
Um,
did you notice with your bombs?
I just noticed that I was just kind of throwing them out just to use it sometimes,
Okay.
or just not really placing them where they should have been. Uh,
So you recognize it was an issue, and you are implying when you're saying where they should have been, you had a better idea of what you should have done with it when you evaluated it.
yeah, or at least something that I thought would be a better usage of it, you know.
Right. Were there any like consistent themes, or was it more like point by point?
I just did it kind of point by point.
Okay. What else?
I noticed too that I tend not to engage with DM. Like I noticed there are a couple points where I went to dive in Ana and I get like naded or slept or something because I didn't go in with DM up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and you're looking back on it, it's like, okay, why didn't I do that? But
Well, why didn't you do it?
uh, I guess I just wasn't thinking about it at the moment.
Okay. So just not a habit you've built. Okay. What else?
Mm-hmm. I feel like my engagement timing might be pretty bad. And
How do you know?
again, I kind of went back through the replays, kind of picked out some areas where I kind of fell over or waited too long or went in too early, that kind of thing. Just looking at where my team was, which is something that I should probably be doing in game. That
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Good. I really like this. This is great. See, this gives us something to springboard off of, right? Okay. Now, Sigma, Ramatra, any points here? Obviously, you didn't study those today necessarily, but in your best ability, best attempt at self-awareness, what do you think? If you were to pick one thing, maybe for each tank, that you feel you lack.
I think with Sigma, it just comes down to I know you've mentioned in some of your Sigma coaching, just you sit in a spot, you're a turret, and then you use your range to control that space, and you cycle your cooldowns properly. So I kind of feel like my cooldown cycling isn't as great with Sigma as it might be with some other characters.
So be specific. What cooldowns do you feel like you misuse, don't use enough, or don't use properly?
I feel like I might not use his grasp properly.
How so?
Just off the top of my head, I feel like I use it kind of as a last resort in most situations when I might need to be more proactive with it.
So being more proactive in what way? When would you use it proactively?
Maybe if I'm waiting for a shield to replenish or something like that.
Okay. Something to experiment with, certainly. Okay, what about Ramatra?
I'm gonna admit, like I feel like my Ram is probably my worst tank, but I love playing him because I love his lore. But
Same, he's sick.
yeah, I just kind of feel like I don't really know kind of when to just laser someone in Omnic form or when to kind of charge in with Nemesis or something like that.
Okay.
There's
So
definitely
knowing...
sometimes
No, finish your thought, sorry.
I was just gonna say like sometimes I'll get into a game and it just clicks for that game, but other than that, it's just I feel like I'm kind of just flailing around pressing buttons.
Okay, so being a little bit more deliberate with when I'm using which form. Okay. I really like this. I've been trying to do for the last 6 minutes is take a lot of this information that you have and practice kind of transitioning it into actionable feedback for yourself. And I trust you. I trust your ability to read your own gameplay, especially the way that you're describing things. I am totally on board with everything that you said, and I really like the way that you're phrasing it. It's very specific. It's very deliberate. It gives you something to put your thought into and effort into. And this is how you need to approach your play. Your play.
Okay.
This is how you need to practice. I mean, you might already be doing this to an extent, which is part of the reason of why you've made such dramatic improvements, but I encourage you to keep doing this.
Okay.
Take the time to evaluate your gameplay. Take the time to, even without the replay viewer, just kind of think, even just for a few minutes, just think about like, what are my pitfalls with Diva? What are my pitfalls with Zig? What do I feel like is going wrong? What are some things that I'm doing well as well? Like when I play really well with Ramatra, when I asked you, because the other thing too as well, if you notice as well, we started off with me asking you, what are some things that you've done better with? First, you said your Diva staging. I've been doing a really good job with that. Keep that up. Nice job. Ramatra, always like on my cooldown cycling. And then not only did I ask you for example of what you've been practicing, I asked you for a specific example. And you gave me one where you clutched out a fight because you're really deliberate and conscious of how you use your shield and then your nemesis and then your annihilation, and then you're able to chain things really nicely. That's great. Do more of that. Don't just nitpick the bad things, but provide good feedback about when you're doing things well and keep that up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is good. And so when we move away from this review, I want this kind of like thought process, this system, to continue for the rest of your Overwatch career, or at least as long as you're consistently trying to improve yourself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is self-coaching gold right here, what you're doing right there. This is really, really good. Okay. Any questions?
No, nothing off the top of my head right now.
Okay. Let's look at some feedback here, or some replays here. So this is, I assume, D.Va.
Mm-hmm. It's 100% D.Va.
Okay.
I picked this one because the game ended in a draw, and I also felt like, I felt like I played pretty terribly in a lot of places. So
why would you say that? What? Okay, so this is where we're going to be self-coaching gold again. What makes you say that?
It just kind of goes back to the list of things I had earlier, where like my ult usage was just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was lacking team awareness and timing and things like that.
Timing,
and I noticed
ult, and then you said the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna provide feedback as I see it, but you know the routine. There's gonna be a lot of questions, and I'm gonna want you to try to prove to me that you can coach yourself as well in a replay review as you can conjecturing outside of the replay review.
Okay.
In fact, you're going to be one of the few gold players that where I'm not going to ask you what D.Va's job is, because I think you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
It kind of woke me up in game, like, oh crap, here we go. But when I watched that back, I kind of figured maybe I should have gone up to the high ground up top right there, over top of the bus, instead of just trying to turn that corner.
Why?
Brute force. It would give me better access to like that high ground in the back in the statue, and then I maybe make a play off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there, and there's the platform a little bit closer to spawn as well.
Okay. What would be the good general rule for you in terms of positioning yourself in any game?
I would want to put myself in a position where I have easy access to targets that I want to get after.
Okay. What targets do you want to get after? Or what if you were looking at this now, what targets do you want to get after? No looking at the top left, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what should
that's
be the
true.
number one
Sure.
rule?
I guess just scout it out, see what's going
Just
on.
scout it out, right? Not just scout out what they're running, but where they are. Because the problem here is, like, let's be honest, this was like remarkably fast, but you just didn't know where anything was or know what anything was. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would argue that this rollout here is not even too bad because it still allows you to kind of set up staging and from behind and so on. You just didn't know. And that was really fast. Let's not lie here. That was kind of insane.
I just got melted. I had no idea what was going on.
I'm going to just let this play, and I'm going to do something I haven't done in a review in a long time. I'm not going to say a word except to ask questions and compliment your things. I'm going to have you tell me when to pause, okay?
Putting lots of pressure on me.
I know. You can handle it.
I feel like instead of, running around the bus there, probably should have, like I said, went up towards parade.
So then why aren't you doing that? Because it's the second time you said it, and yet you still haven't done it.
I mean, I don't even know if I can give a good answer for that, to be honest. I just, I wasn't thinking about that in game.
Okay.
And they're all just kind of down middle for now.
Okay.
And then here, like, I just, I'm not really sure what I should be doing in game. So
what's confusing you? What's overwhelming you? Because you keep coming up with this problem, and yet.
I guess it's just, I see everything going on, and it's like, trying to keep in mind like your whack-a-mole metaphor.
Yeah.
And then, I'm bouncing like, oh, your Roadhog's on my team. Oh, Genji's over here. I need to go deal with the Genji. I need to push forward. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then I'm just thinking about too much at once.
So
I just end up doing nothing.
Let's run with a whack-a-mole analogy, right? Because that's a great analogy, but maybe not the best coaching, because you just described exactly the people that are really bad at whack-a-mole are exactly what you just described. They miss everything. Yeah. I've ever seen like a 3 or 4-year-old play that game before. I have. They don't know what to do. They're like, ow, and they miss every single one. So how would a 3 or 4-year-old improve at whack-a-mole?
I guess just, you look at where one of the moles is going to pop up, whack it when it pops up.
Yeah.
Move on to the next one.
So how do you simplify that process for yourself here?
I would just pick one person, one threat, and deal with them.
Sure.
Go after the next.
I'll simplify things even further. If I'm working with a 3 or 4-year-old, I will say, hey, do you see this little section here on the left? Those are your moles. You have to handle those moles.
Okay.
But you notice that it's more the section rather than the moles.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm going to marry what you said at the very start of this review, which was you kept harping on about top right. If I was only here. Okay, sure. So get there and whack whatever mole. Okay. So this kind of goes into like, I think my coaching has evolved since some of that whack-a-mole discussion, where I think the priority may be allow yourself to choose the position. Okay. Let me give you a flow chart here. Start with looking at the situation. Look at the setup, look at the enemies. Choose your position from the enemy team's setup and position and composition, and then let the target be dictated by your position.
Okay.
So choose your target, then choose your position, and then choose your target again.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense? So if I look at this here and I'm like, oh, I want to go for backline here. Okay, set up here or top right. Then if the enemy, your target rotates away, but tank presents itself, okay, shoot tank. Or Genji presents itself, okay, shoot tank. Or DVA or Genji or whatever, right? Does that make sense?
I see. Yeah.
Simplify things. Choose your section of the whack-a-mole that you want to put your emphasis on, and then just let the rest go a little bit.
Okay.
So what would you do? Let's say top right. Let's say you get here. Now what?
Yeah, no, that's tough. I might try to break up their backline a little bit. Maybe drop down behind where that car is. Kind of seeing now being top right isn't maybe the most helpful for me.
Why not?
In the first place. I mean, like I can see them, but I can't really do much as D.Va from there.
So what's the solution?
I would have to get closer.
So how do you get closer?
Kind of like I said, drop down behind the car. Use that as cover. Try to force something out.
Maybe a hook or something, right? If you try to notice how as well you said drop down, not booster down. I think it's a very important distinction. So if things go south, you just booster out. And regardless, as awkward as it may be, it will create a lot of space. It will. I love it. Good stuff. Great work. Remember, you call and pause here.
All right. Yeah, I feel like I'm just waiting too long to do something. Like I'm doing a lot of like poking and standing around. I feel like at this point it would probably be a good idea to take hotel. Kind of I kind of noticed them all, or Ash and Ilari go run up that way, so
Perfect.
now they're kind of by themselves.
Perfect. This angle's close, right? This is like a super convenient spot here for you to whack the moles. Now you would give space to the Roadhog, but you immediately access squishies instead. Yep. Thoughts on the bomb? And I'm only pausing here because this is something that you brought up earlier.
Yeah. I just
You got hooked out of
used-
your boosters, I think.
So yeah, I just nuked there because I was about to get DMAC. Kind of used it as like a second life.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to get people. I remember this part being kind of tough. That is something that I noticed immediately. I went up to get the edge. Now, if I had DM'd, I could have stayed up there.
Yep.
Because I could have eaten Coach Gun, baby.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm not really sure why.
In terms of whack-a-mole principle, was that reasonable for you to go for the Ashe?
Yeah, I think so. She was
Why?
by herself.
Was it
putting
convenient?
pressure- Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I could get up there real easily, take high ground.
Mm-hmm.
I just, execution wasn't quite there.
And when you fail, everything becomes more chaotic. Because you're smack dab in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nice Matrix. I think you could have capped the Matrix there, frankly. Or did you run out? Oh, you ran out.
I think.
Yeah, no problem. Just have more. Simple.
Easy as that.
I think you need 4 seconds of Matrix to this character.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
That would
I
be
agree.
a good solution. That would really help the Zarya mashup. Okay, do you see the Genji body? Do you see the Genji body?
He's just getting pushed along.
We all know the ragdoll broke, frick. That was hilarious. Okay, reminder, you you call pause when you want to.
I remember just kind of like in game even, I was kind of just really unsure of where I should go. I think this is fine here, where I'm kind of making them scramble a little bit. They're road pushing. I think the
Is
only
this-
issue.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the only issue is I'm out of like support LOS, but I'm also almost. I think it's so far, yeah.
Okay.
I think that was a mistake right there.
What should you have done instead?
Probably turned around, gone back to my team.
Here's a question. Was there a better angle available to you? Like, before this, like, during the setup?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Well,
I think maybe if I
Let's
just
think.
got closer. Or,
so, like, got to here sooner?
yeah.
Okay, what about here?
I mean, yeah, that could work. I could have also, instead of taking that right side, I could have gone where the Genji is and taken that high ground, that route towards their back line.
What do you think?
It might have been better.
Why?
It just gets me closer. I have
Why
a
is
bit
that
more
better?
cover. And I have a more way back to my team.
What's your effective range with Diva?
It's pretty short range.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of medium, but not really.
Pretty short. Yeah, pretty short. Minus missiles, pretty short.
I think that was just my issue there.
So, better angle available. Needed to disengage once you had taken significant damage. Reset. Okay.
Here, I feel like I'm just shooting at the hog way too much.
Set up a different angle. Where do you go?
It'd probably be. I wouldn't want to cut straight through them, so maybe back that passage that I mentioned before. Yeah. So now Ash is there. They're kind of pulling back just a little bit.
Is it worth losing the presence on front line to set that up?
I feel like if I can pull it off, yeah.
Okay. What do you mean if I can pull it off? Like, that's super
Like
vague.
the backline trade. If I can
Okay.
if I can get enough value out of
You will
my
get
dive.
value. The question that you need to be asking yourself, and this is where I'll coach a little bit here, is how long will it take me to set that up?
Okay.
And the answer is too long, just right? You tell me.
I think at this point it would take too long for me to do that.
Okay, so let's go back when you first brought it up, which was here.
It might still take me too long.
Okay. I say it's close. I would say if you're really nervous, force hook, and then you could boost her directly to the angle here. Right? But I honestly think that you there's time. I really do think there's time. Because it's only one booster length and you're right here. And so it's about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. But it is something to consider. You're not terrible at this tank trade at the range that you're playing, right?
And that nuke was terrible.
What was wrong with it?
Well, it put me right smack dab in the middle of their team.
So what should you have done differently?
Probably staged it better. Back up on that high ground, maybe dropped it down or something.
Sure. Are you ready
myself
for
in a safer position?
for smoking hot take? Just freaking shoot, and don't bomb, and then bomb for a second life if you need to. You're getting so much done right now. You could have done more from the angle, but I don't see any reason. You chuck bombs when there's some sort of distance. There's no distance here. Everyone's on top of your face.
Yeah.
There's no distance here. Okay, let's keep going. You're doing a great job, by the way. This is really, really good. I am 100% on board with everything that you're saying. And the best part about it is I'm not even asking you questions that implies that there's something wrong. I'm letting stuff go about 9% of the time, and you're the one catching it. No pressure, but,
Yeah, no pressure at all.
No pressure, you're just perfect, and if you make one mistake, then you're going to ruin your perfect record.
Yeah, I can kind of tell there. I'm just not really sure in the moment of what I should be doing. See me looking around a whole bunch.
Yeah, and so what's the solution?
To just pick something and go with it.
And what is something?
Like
now that you have time to think about it.
A section, like you were referencing earlier. Just,
So what would you do, given the power of hindsight here, right? With the information that you have and the time that you have, what should you do?
See, now this, it might not be a bad option to stay here, honestly.
Okay. Why?
Because if I leave, then the Hog and the ulting Moira are able to put a lot more pressure on my team.
So what would you do differently then?
I probably should have pushed maybe a little harder, like right around here.
I don't know if you just saw a hook there as well, but yeah, let's go. You obviously messed up your boosters here. And this is where I'm going to step in and say, again, as soon as I see hook here, and I see coalescence, and I know that we're not going to be pushing anytime any soon, right there, you do have time to go top left.
Okay.
Hog without hook, given his position and the team's cover and the choke here, you do have time. You will get here. But also what you said by staying on main and then just pushing once your Reaper goes in with boosters, that would also be fine too. We're still on the same page.
All right. I think this is still pretty okay. And then, I take top right, kind of get you by the force him off. I definitely should have maybe drop there instead of
Why?
Sniper Diva. It's like I'm just not really doing much.
It feels like part of the reason why you're hesitant to take some of these angles is a lot of the times you have ended up sniper DVAing almost like a 100% of the angles that you've taken this game. So part of it is the angles that you're taking are bad, and also part of it is that like you said, when you do take the angle, you have opportunities to kind of drop just to kind of like get a little closer, and you don't do it, right? So it's like, man, maybe I should have just stayed on the Roadhog, you know? But I think that that's like the band-aid of you need to take an angle that's closer, or you need to be more willing to press W. But yeah, 100% agreed. 100% agreed. Okay. Any questions so far?
No questions so far.
I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm have to coach myself, so I can't ask any questions. Like, of course, if anything, you're really not sure what to do, then that's fine. I can smell it.
Yep.
I knew it. What do you think? Before the bomb even explodes, what do you think? I mean, you know what happens with this bomb, but I'm going to give you my take. You tell me yours.
I feel like it wasn't as bad as some of my other bombs.
Why? What was the big change?
It forces them to back up, and they're actually where the bomb landed.
That's it. There's some sort of like distance here, right? So it's like there's an actual chance that I think this bomb has much greater potential than the other ones. And there it goes. Breaks the pylon. Creates space. Let's check off our box here. Forces fade. Knocks Hog to oblivion, who's 1 HP now. Puts Ash totally out of position, and probably should die to Venture here, and forces Coalescence. Cool with me. Cool with me.
All right.
Yeah. And you're going to win the fight off of that. And you do win the fight off of that. It's not obvious that that's what caused the bomb, but looking back on it, yeah, definitely. Definitely fight-winning bomb. Let's try.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that when I went through.
Of course you're not, because you don't know those things because it's behind a wall. You just have to predict. When you do good things, it's like life. You know, people are like, oh, you got lucky, but they don't see the hard work that you put behind the scenes. And it's honestly can be even hard for you too, because you don't always see like, hey, I got up a little bit earlier, I worked a little bit harder, I slept a little bit better, I took better care of myself. And so these little things that aren't even obvious, like add up to success. It's the same thing with Overwatch. When you do things like that, you didn't know you forced Moira Fade, and you don't know that that's what's forced cold, and you didn't know how low the Roadhog was, and you didn't know that the Ash was out of position, but you did the right thing, and accidentally good things happened. That's how it works. Good stuff. Remember the pause rule, just let me know.
Yeah.
Every time you take an angle.
Yep.
Sniper. Yep. It's okay. It's okay. We've solved the issue. We've solved the issue. I remember even back to first point, right? You're like top right, top right, top right. You got top right. You're like, ugh, I need to drop to car here. But the key thing is that going top right was fine. You just needed to continue off of that. So you go here and you're like, okay, this isn't good enough. So then where do I need to go from here?
Yeah. I feel like from here, I would probably go...
Coincidentally, top right.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe consider dropping.
But yeah, I just kind of stay here too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ugly, right? It's ugly. But that's great. The uglier the problem, the more value impact fixing the problem will have.
That's why I chose this replay too, because I knew that it was pretty bad.
Did you know, looking back at it, that this was a problem? Or is this, because you noticed most of the other problems, but I don't remember you bringing up this one in particular.
I kind of... It wasn't like to the same level. I kind of realized that I was playing Sniper Diva, but I never put any more thought into it than that. Okay.
I will say that this is more important than your Diva bombs, and maybe even more important than your Matrix usage. Okay. If you cannot even put yourself in the right spot, I mean, I know it's a Spilo meme, but it's a meme for a reason. It's very important. Positioning is 70-80% of your gameplay.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing here. Like,
yeah, it's okay to start, but now, like, what's the next step?
I'd want to take where the Genji is and keep moving from there.
Do you see how it's kind of like whack-a-mole from here, but the priority is on like what section are you going to focus on, and then the target priority just solves itself. Like if the Genji wasn't here, I still think right wouldn't be a bad choice, because it would be like, okay, I go here, and then that allows me to kind of wrap from here, which then allows me to take top right. You know, kind of get what I'm saying? Or you could do the same thing here. Like I'm going to go here, and I'm going to shoot the Roadhog and Moira, and then I'm going to stage across to here. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like if you're looking at this from a whack-a-mole standpoint, you'd still go right, but maybe instead of focusing on the target, you said focus on the positioning. You see what I'm saying? Kind of like what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, I see that.
Because ultimately, like, I like this matrix, but then you end up losing people on the angle as well. So it's like, even in situations when you get hooked on main, it's still useful to do stuff on the right.
And then it just kind of falls apart from there.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, this is a very tradable fight. You're thinking about bomb here. I am too.
I feel like I should have just kept bomb there.
Yeah. I think you were thinking that Mega was unhacked. I think that you thought that you could grab Mega, but ultimately it was hacked, so no bueno. Okay, good trades, though. Yeah, good trades. I like the response, though. You almost had it. Sunstruck, hacked, hindered, hooked. Nice job. Good cap.
The tank experience.
The tank experience. Love it. The tank experience was the first fight here, man. I'm still astonished, especially given their composition, like how fast you melted. Like even with Roadhog, that was excessive. There was no Discord or Bastion or Reaper or anything. It just melted. Okay, so any questions so far?
No.
Very simple.
No, I think we're doing okay.
You're a wizard, Harry. This is great. This is really, really, really good. What are you seeing so far?
What do you mean, like in this positioning?
What needs to be done better? Not this particular positioning, but so far in this review.
Well, I just need to focus on taking closer angles.
Right.
Setting myself up properly.
Okay.
And then everything else kind of falls into place from there. Yeah, just making sure, like I said, that I'm just getting closer.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the biggest thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. And then just taking angles, right? Like when you're not sure, like this whole whack-a-mole thing is confusing you, just prioritize the position. Don't sweat the mole too much.
And here's kind of where I have a question. When would it be a good idea to peel back for the Winston or go for the backline trade?
Great question. Is your angle good here?
Not really.
Why not?
I'm a little far away.
Okay, so then there you go. So then the peel back here is fine. The problem is just where you peel back to. Where should you have peeled back to? Think 2 steps ahead. Where do you want to be once this Winston bubble is broken?
Probably closer to their backline.
Okay, which is where?
So, through the gate. So
Sure.
I want to be closer to
But
hotel.
So if you were to peel at all here, maybe instead of flying around this way, you fly actually across this way and shoot this, but hold the corner here, right?
Yeah.
Or the other option is to do exactly what you just did, but stop here, where you're essentially at the same range, but you actually have some cover and are in a better position, again, to control backline. The problem here is that by peeling here, you started getting destroyed through main a million miles away. You see that?
Yeah.
So you notice that the question was, do I peel or do I not peel? And I didn't answer that question. I asked you, is your position good?
I see.
And the answer was no. So then this is why this doesn't work.
Okay.
Don't worry too much about your target. Worry more about the angle, the position, the sight line, the range that I'm playing, and then decide from there. Decide from there. Because that's why this fight goes so uglily, because the angle isn't good. Now you're fixed that here, so let's see how you do. Ah, yes. Matrix, 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 back to cover. Good.
I feel like that's not that bad.
Thoughts?
I think it's just fine to keep going towards Ash. Larry.
I would not know if I'd commit boosters here, but I think it's okay. This is where you're noticing that matrix problem that you brought up earlier, right? Where there's going to be a lot of damage coming in, a lot of cooldowns coming in quickly.
And here I just need to get closer.
Get
I have
closer,
boosters.
or who else is close right now? Use your spider senses.
I think the Genji's behind.
No. You see it?
Yeah, the Winston.
So you can LOS the backline and shoot tank. Oh, I hear backline getting close. I have to deal with the backline and so on. You get what I'm saying? Something to consider.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you do get close here. But unfortunately, at that point in time, you've already used too much HP, used too much matrix for you to reasonably be able to take the duel. That's all. You took too much damage. You took way too much damage and committed your boosters too aggressively. That's all. Make sense? Okay.
And here I feel like if I wanted to go for that Ash, I should have done it so much sooner.
It's okay, you did it. I'm going too fast.
Yeah, definitely. That was way too aggressive of a play.
What do you mean?
Me turning that corner into their team.
So what should you have done differently?
Probably could have just waited for them to walk towards me.
From where?
Waited for, like, from right here. I just turning that corner. Yeah.
Certainly just playing cover better, right? Because you work close, but then as soon as you like get this here, I mean, especially now, right? You're not getting a kill here, no?
No.
So what should be the play?
Just trying to keep myself alive, boostering out, maybe.
Yeah, just booster up. It's okay. Because you actually, look, this is a good nade, sleep dart, Yari, Winston, bubble, tracer. This is all right. You could even live this if you fully disengage up, because meanwhile your angle is winning, but you need to live this. You need to live this, and you're not going to.
No.
Okay. Okay, if you... Brilliant. Should have stayed Nano Baby Diva, idiot. Trolling this fight. Shame on you. Thoughts?
That
Was there distance?
there was distance.
Was there remix space?
There was until I tried.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm on the fence with this one. It's not bad. It's not good. It has potential.
Maybe if I'd done it closer,
Yeah, I think here. Yeah.
like on the corner instead of throwing it all the way back there.
It does force things. It's just not perfectly placed, and nor do you have like confirmation of like a remake, and that's my biggest problem.
Okay.
I'm here.
I should probably. Yep, there I go. I feel like I took a while to do that, but
It's
no
okay.
one was there.
That's okay. Better late than never.
I'm just kind of waiting around here. Sniper Diva again. Just kind of
So what's the
taking where
solution
that
then?
tracer is.
What's the solution?
Probably dropping, taking where the tracer has been kind of lurking.
Like here?
Yeah.
Right here? Okay.
Move
Give me
around
another
there.
choice.
Could have gone where that little window is up top.
Uh-huh,
on the right.
Unironically, here as well.
That's true.
At least it's a shorter range. Like, it's not the deepest angle because most of your backline's going to be here, so it's more of like a slight, like 30-degree angle, but it's something, right? It, I mean, this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Like you see this here, like this is you're pretty useful here. Like you're in a good position to deepen, to control backline. This is fine. This is definitely a much more linear point. But like as soon as you're able to close the distance, even though it wasn't like the craziest, sexiest flank ever, it worked, right?
And then here too, just pick a
Where should you go?
spot.
Like where? It's awkward because you don't really know where you're fighting, but you can also reposition quickly, right? So there's nothing wrong with pushing up and then, oh no, I need to disengage. So where would you go?
Probably the platform up top. Maybe see what's going on behind that corner.
Here? Here? Yep,
yeah.
You got it. I mean, even there, it's like, it's risky, but you close the distance. And your team was kind of sort of there, so yeah.
Going for that mega's fine. And it just brings us back to that same thing.
Well, it's Sniper Diva, but at least it's versus a Winston right now, so we're okay. But then, yeah, obviously, like, as soon as this fight starts, you need to be asking yourself, like, where do I really want to be? Yeah. Yeah, and do you notice that this isn't even a question of who to shoot? It doesn't matter who to shoot. You're in a perfect position to put pressure on Winston. Backline, it doesn't matter. I would even be using my missiles from here. In fact, I think I think that's the biggest mistake there. That, and also, this is where you started to let your target priority kick in too deeply here, because this is a mistake. You right here, frankly, should be hacked, slept, or both. What was your position best equipped for once the Winston started to move forward?
Going for his backline.
Going for his backline. Very simple.
Sombra.
Anything. Ana, EDR, like everything should be, you should be able to almost 3v1 this backline with zero risk of death, almost. And instead you pursued a monkey. I think you just simply being here and using missiles to force an early nano, that's all you really need to do. You've already done your job. And then you're in a perfect position to go for backline at full HP. We love that. You see, that's the problem, right? Now your ability to punish the Winston is compromised because you've been slept, and you've been slept because you gave up what your position allowed you to do. Remember, if you take a section of the whack-a-mole, if you reach across to try and smash one of mine, you're just going to miss one of yours.
Okay.
You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I say, get the left section, but you're trying to help me by smacking the right, inevitably you're going to let one of the two or the left go. Don't worry about me. Let me do my job, because it's not convenient for you to do what you just did. It's not that you can't handle Winston. It's that your position no longer allowed you to handle Winston, but was better equipped for backline. Control your angle. Find the angle that works for you. Shotgun angle, up close, with a little bit of verticality, with your cooldowns, etc., 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 and do your job. Do your job. Ironically here, you getting slept might have been the best thing for you, because it's actually forcing you to deal with what's on your screen now, which, unsurprisingly, you're really freaking good at dealing with because you're up in their face. You even ate nade there. I mean, look at this. You look like, this is like pro level stuff here. Like, what's going on here? Bam! Look at that. Who is this? Like, Poco? Like, this is crazy. Pray that you're not Poco. That guy has like a toenail collection. Freaking hate that guy. He's worst in the world. Great. If he's here, all right. Wee! Okay, it's there. You've got your team around you, so like yeah. Now here, yeah, let's duck behind cover again, right? No sniper diva. Don't do it. Don't do it.
There it is again.
Don't do it. I mean, I don't even mind you looking, but like, oh no. And there it is. You see it? Don't chase.
Yeah.
Do what gives you value. No comment.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the bomb? Thoughts on the bomb. I know it's a remake bomb. I think it just needed a little bit more. I think it just messed up your boosters, honestly. Because if you had used your boosters here, would the bomb have been okay?
Probably, yeah.
Probably been all right. Yeah, probably would have been all right. So let's give that one an A for effort, unironically. I'm glad that you actually had the idea correct, even if the execution was bad. But you trolled this fight. Like, you absolutely threw this fight. There's actually no way that you should have lost this fight. Absolutely criminal with the setup that you guys had. Because that was like GM level setup from you and your DPS. Like, that was so clean, and then you guys just threw it in the trash. And by you guys, I mean you.
I thought I could get up there. I could not.
That's okay. What do you think?
I need to get closer, and I need to
Where?
take where their Reaper is apparently,
Okay. Or
that room on the left there.
even here, right? Take a little second. If you have time, stage. Let's see. Now, again, I don't hate here. Because at least you're close and you'd have a bit of an angle with your Pharah. It's fine. That's the wrong person. What is wrong with my keyboard here? There we go. It's kind of funny. The one time the Winston like jumps into you, where like actually you could just sit here now and just turn around, duck into cover, and just annihilate this Winston. You actually fly away from him. Do you see? This is why it's so important that you don't think about it in terms of targets, right? Because you've simultaneously thrown by focusing the Winston and then thrown by not focusing the Winston at the same time, right? It's just been exclusively what section of the whack-a-mole do you want to cover? What do you think? Oh, you're a wizard. This is great. It's fine. What should you do? What should you do?
I think I just need a little more DM.
Yeah, just frankly, I think you DM and you drop. If they put all these resources into clearing you out in your angle, that's okay. Reset, try again. Go elsewhere. They can clear you out. They will clear you out. But it needs to be painful. It needs to be, oh, we're just obliterating this Rhine shield in the meantime. But yeah, a lot more DM. Lot more DM. Lot more DM. So the irony is that you're like committing to these angles and then you're refusing to disengage no matter how many resources they put up there. Like let's go back to here. Like let's say that you're up top here and Winston jumps you, Ana rotates up top, everybody comes up top and you start to lose HP. Just disengage. It's fine. That's going to happen sometimes. You're equipped to live pressure. You know? It's not, oh, I either die here or live here, it's over, right? You can, it's not like Sigma in that aspect, right? Frankly, I think I shoot a little more first. Get a lot of 200, 300 HP, maybe force a fade out. No way. Okay, never mind. You guys don't get it. Okay, let's take some notes.
Okay.
What do you got? So I would say 75, 80% of this review has been you.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high ratio, right? Especially for, you know, a trash gold player. So you know your stuff. You know your stuff. What needs to be done?
I just need to pick closer angles more consistently.
Angles more consistently. Less overwhelming whack-a-mole analogy. More setup on your position, pressure, what's available. Convenient. What else?
There is the bomb usage.
Bomb usage. Keeping an eye on specifically two factors. What were the main two factors? Do you remember?
The distance and if I can safely remake.
Safe remake and distance. Perfect. What else?
There's the DM usage as well. Just making sure I use it more consistently when I need to.
I threw in one detail here. More consistent when kill threat isn't there. Very important. As soon as you realize that this target is not going to die, DM is your friend. Because that's where you can maintain quote-unquote pressure without compromising your ability to live. Because why shoot if you're not going to get the kill?
Exactly. Okay.
When you can just matrix, bait their attention, and take less damage. So then you can disengage and go back in faster because you'll have all your HP still.
All right.
DM regenerates faster than HP most of the time. So, okay. Let's, one more thing, which was if angle not going well, disengage, rinse and repeat. Right? If they put all the resources into clearing you out, okay, fly away. Try it again. Simple as that. Any questions?
No, I think I've got it all down.
Okay, you are an exceptionally self-aware person, and you put even just reviewing this VOD. I guess the delay for our session today was a blessing in disguise. because it really prepared you for this review, and I think you did a great job self-analyzing the situation. That is going to be your goal. If we talk about things that you did well to finish this session, what were some things that you did not perfectly, maybe not even good, let's be honest, you're a goal player, but relatively okay? What do you think?
That is a good question. See, I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Let's do it this way. Compared to the average gold diva. Because that's really what you're comparing yourself versus, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You got a little bit of an ego. You know what the average gold diva is. They're not as smart as you, right? So come on. Be honest with me here.
I mean, I like to think that my mobility, like my booster usage, is actually really good. I put a lot of time practicing that.
I think so too, right? Most gold divas never use that cooldown, right?
I feel like I'm using it every time it's up.
Yeah. A lot of the you needed to reposition yourself much better, but you were at least thinking about it. And I promise you that 99% of gold divas don't think about it at all. Okay, so you're already a step up. What else?
I mean, I'm able to, look back, use hindsight, maybe a little better.
Yeah, you have you have a higher ceiling of learning, right? To be able to apply what you learn. Okay, so you're a little bit smarter. You position yourself a little bit better. What about missiles, matrix usage, bombs, mechanics?
I mean, I don't feel like my mechanics are all that bad, honestly.
Competitive mechanics? I agree.
My micro missiles, I think, were pretty good.
I think so too. I think they were above average. It felt like you didn't just throw them with zero thought, which again, I think puts you at a slight leg up. So I would say in terms of positioning and micro missile usage, a little bit above average. Good stuff. Right. Doesn't mean that, you could be happy. Doesn't mean that you could be, not the best word, but doesn't mean that you could be like, oh, I'm perfect with that. Obviously not, right? But
there's still.
But you could recognize that, hey, I did okay. That's fine. We don't have to sit here and be unsatisfied with every single aspect of your gameplay. That's such an overrated, crappy mentality. Oh, never satisfied. Yeah, shut up. It's just stupid. It's fine. You did a good job.